it's important now than ever due to the uncertain times that we live in to 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 start making progress towards your finish line. What do you want your life to look like in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years, or 10 years? You know, what do you want it to look like? Okay, now ask yourself, what are you doing to ensure your life can look that way in that near future? What are I know it's difficult, in this time. I know, you know, things are just starting to go back to normal now. In some countries, it hasn't. I have friends in Australia and where it's everything's pretty much still on lockdown. And then now with this war going on, and it's yeah, it could be unsettling, but that is this is just another example of adversity, right? We all have different types of adversity, and this is kind of like a almost a worldwide adversity that we all are facing, some to a larger extent than others. But adversity across the world. And a lot of people lost their jobs, and they're trying to recover from that. And a lot of people have been very hurt financially, and they have not recovered from that. So Mexico may not be like I live in Mexico, but that might not be the country for you. There's over 180 countries in the world that you can choose from, and in Mexico for me it's just ideal and convenient. This is why I pick Mexico, but you can pick any other country, and some countries have more lenient or easier paths to permanent residency. In other countries, it's more difficult. Like other countries require that you actually have to live there. You have to live there the whole time, or if you do leave, you can only be out of the country for maybe a few days or maybe 2 to 4 weeks, and then that's it. If you're out longer, they cancel it, and then you have to start from the beginning again. So, but there are countries, for example, Mexico. There's other Latin American countries, Paraguay. There's other Latin American countries and I'm sure European countries and others around the world where you can um, spend a minimal amount of time in the new country, and eventually you can have your permanent residency. And then if you want to go back to the U.S., if you want to live there for the majority of your life, you can, But if something happens, you will at least have a plan B option. Some countries they have this uh, kind of conditional permanent residency, in a sense, and actually the U.S. is one of the countries that has that, and I'm sure other countries has it too. Um, but sometimes, like for example, I know Panama has like that. Panama is like you have to be there like 3 to 4 days a year or something like that. And if you don't, they will cancel your permanent residency. So weird rules, because permanent residency is supposed to be permanent, right? But this is why it's good to do your due diligence and to know ahead before you go through the entire application process. But for example, in Mexico, it's once you get it, it's permanent. For example, if I went back to the U.S. for 6, 7 years and I came back to Mexico with my permanent resident card, they will let me in. It would be no issue. So this is why again you have to do your due diligence. I don't claim to be an expert about this specific topic, but I've did a lot of research to at least have an above average understanding about which kind of residency processes and what countries would be worth my time. And Mexico, I felt that was probably the most practical one. And this is why, for that reason, I live here. Um, you know, that was something that I really wanted for my friend, because it was difficult. It was difficult for a while. Trying to get in and out of the U.S. and all of those mandates, and it was difficult. And and I was trying to not only my friend, but I was trying to tell people like in advance, like, hey, like just start the process, and in many cases, specifically with Mexico, but with other countries too, you can do it at the consulate within your country. And some countries, like Mexico, will give you permanent residency while you're in the US. Now, you still have to go to Mexico to finish the other half of the process, but you're half the way, you're 50% of the way there. And other countries have similar rules too.